like to introduce our team, consisting of Jonathan with the UAE, Jelle with Uruguay, Samira with Turkey, Asia with Malaysia. We compare the UAE with the other three countries, Turkey, Malaysia and Uruguay, to get inside information on cultural differences. Content of this movie will be Geert Hofstede's dimensions, power distance and individualism, Lewis' cross-cultural communication model, and the do's and don'ts in business. Enjoy. The first dimension we are going to compare is power distance. In business, this means the distance between boss and employee. How much does the employee affect the boss decisions he makes? In the UAE, they have a high power distance. This means the employee has not much to say against the boss. In Malaysia, they scored 100. That's even higher than the UAE, but still close. In Turkey, they have an average score of 66, so the power distance is middle to high. In Uruguay, the distance is 61. That means also a middle to high power distance, but still a lot lower than the UAE.
The second dimension that we are going to look at is the dimension individualism. This dimension is about if they are living in a we culture or an I culture. The I culture is about that they look after themselves and family only. But the we culture is that they belong to groups who look after each other in exchange for loyalty. We begin, of course, with the UI. They scored 25 points. That means they are at the we culture or collectivism culture. This is also for Malaysia, but also for Turkey and Uruguay. All the country cultures are based on the we culture. This means that they belong to in-groups who look after each other for exchange for loyalty. The communication is indirect and the harmony in this culture has to be maintained.
If we look at the business culture of the UAE, there are a couple of do's and don'ts they have. So let's compare them with the other countries. For instance, if you have a meeting, be sure to come on time and wear a dark suit with a tie. Well, same goes for Uruguay. They value a business partner that comes neat in a tie. So if you start meeting, don't immediately rush into business, but go easy with the talking. Same goes for Malaysia. They like to know you better before they start talking about the business. So respect is the most important thing for UAE. So when older people come in the room, be sure to stand up and don't make any eye contact with Muslim women because it's considered rude. The same goes for Turkey. They have the same values as the UAE. So how about shaking hands? Well, no, that's rude too because they want to offer you their hand first.
We're going to look at the triangle of Lewis cross-cultural communication model, which exists out of three cultural types. The first one is multi-active, the second one is linear active, the third one is reactive. Multi-active countries like Latin America, Arab countries and the Italians are warm, emotional. Linear active countries are those who plan, organize and schedule and are cool, like the German and the Swiss. At last we have reactive, which prioritize courtesy, respect and listening quietly and calmly, like the Chinese, Japanese and the Finns.
Now we're going to put our chosen countries in a triangle. The UAE people are almost at the top of multi-active, what means they interrupt people very often, they're very impatient, they're juggling the facts, and they're very punctual. Second of all, we have Uruguay. They're very multi-active, like most of the Latin America countries. They confront business people and family very emotional. They are just so very emotional, and they're talking with limitless body language. Third, we're going to discuss Turkey. Turkey is almost in the center. That means that they are listen, very good. They're emotional but also polite and indirect, and they are patient and will not interrupt you in a meeting. Last of all, we have Malaysia. Malaysia is almost near to reactive. They are very good listeners. They want to they really ask if you want to repeat the question another time. They appreciate face-to-face contact, and they're being polite and indirect most of the time. Muchas gracias.
Terima kasih.
Teşekkürler.
Shukran.